What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the other side of the Firewall podcast. We're talking about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes
What's up? What's up?
and Chris Abacon.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on? So welcome to the Friday episodes. If you're looking for the cyber, that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe Thursday, right? So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CSSP when I have interviews lined up. I have a couple I need to publish. And then Fridays, like this episode, everything else. So not a lot of cyber here. It's movies, books, games, all that cool stuff. But without further ado, Shannon, how was your week?
It's a good week, man. Nothing to complain about. Nothing really to write home about. Watched. It's on Netflix now. Craven the Hunter. It was so, right? Like it's one of those things where I knew it wasn't something I wanted to see in theaters, but I was like, well, it's on Netflix now, so I'll watch it.
What's it called again? I was coughing.
Craven the Hunter.
Will you watch that?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you. Someone had to do it. Thank you for your service.
It was okay. I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say it was okay, but it was all right. Like
you need to watch Madam Web and Venom 3 for me too.
Those I'm like, I can't. Just the trailers didn't do it for me. Like,
right. If the trailer is bad,
yeah,
chances are.
Even with Craven, I was like, this is not the best trailer I've seen, but I think it was better than those other two. So I went ahead and bit the bullet.
And Morbius. Throw that in there too.
Morbius I've seen. I've never watched it again.
It was that terrible.
You've never seen Morbius? You've never seen Morbius?
I've never when I have time, I'm just like when I flip through Netflix, I'm like, these are movies are on my wait list. I never get to them. I just keep watching something different.
And Chris, you said no too.
No, yeah. So okay, so Craven the Hunter. So Marvel Comics, but it's Sony.
Yeah,
right?
anything Sony is
Sony ones,
touching is not good.
Yeah,
except for Spider-Man.
Except for Spider-Man.
That's it.
But
yeah,
Marvel has a heavy hand in it though. They're like, you do anything else you want to do, and they just keep doing nonsense.
Yeah, so when it came on, like I was pretty sure it was a Sony thing, but when it came on, it said Columbia Pictures, so I was like, oh well, maybe it's not Sony. And then it was like a Sony company.
Sony and Columbia, are the same, right?
Yeah. I didn't realize that until I was watching it. I was like, well, maybe it's not going to be bad because Columbia. And I'm like, oh, Columbia.
I don't know how to keep fumbling it so hard. Like
it's not. It
should print money.
Yeah. They're definitely dropping the bag on this one, man. But yeah, it was, the action sequences were pretty decent. Like within the first 5 minutes, there's a scene where you're just like, oh, okay, they're getting at it.
Okay.
And then it's like 30 minutes of going into the story of how we got to this point. I'm like, okay. And then it's back to a little bit of action, and then it's weird, but yeah. So if you want to watch it, I mean, more power to you. Maybe have something else to do.
I do not.
Okay.
I do not want to watch it.
Yeah, you're not really missing anything. I watched this movie. It was an old Dwayne Johnson movie called Faster. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this, where he's a driver that goes to jail for 10 years.
Interesting.
Yeah,
no, I haven't.
What was this? How old? Like
2010.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 15 years we're talking.
Huh. Okay. No, I haven't seen it.
It's called Faster. It's interesting. Billy Bob Thornton is in it.
Okay.
Carla Gugino is in it. It was an interesting story. I was like, huh, okay, that's different. I kind of figured out as I got a little bit more into it what was kind of going on.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to see how it plays out still. But it's early Dwayne Johnson, so he don't talk much, right? 2010 Dwayne Johnson.
Gotcha.
Well, really, when you think about it, so I just did a quick Google search, right? So the first acting role I remember was The Mummy Returns.
Yep.
That was in 2001, man. So he's already been acting.
He didn't say anything, did he, in that one? He was just like the face.
He was just like grunting.
He said the one thing.
Yeah.
It was the one line.
But Walking Tall, right, 2004.
That was good.
Then he goes through Doom, Southland Tales, the Game Plan, Get Smart. So he goes through these like family movies. He has that phase. Tooth Fairy in 2010.
I went to the theater and saw that, and we had to leave early because the transformation freaked my daughter out.
Really?
She started crying. She was like, I gotta get out of here.
And then I think really, 2013 when he started Fast 6, that's when he started doing action movies, right? Because they realized, oh, I think that's when it ramped up, right?
He
had some good movies.
Is there one where he has a whip? He's like, he's with the dude who plays Stifler, and they're like in the jungle.
Oh, yeah.
What's that one called?
Race to Witch Mountain? No.
No.
It's old.
Yeah, because I think he still had hair even. in that one.
He still had hair.
Yeah, before he was cutting it all off.
The Rundown.
The
The
Rundown,
Rundown.
yes. I like The
Yeah, there
Rundown. That
you
was a good
go.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a WWE Films production company.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
They do have some kind of crazy stuff in it. Like at one point he runs through a column or something like that. So I can see the WWE influence in it.
It was a pretty good cast. Sean William Scott, who was Stifler, Christopher
There it is.
Walken, and Rosario Dawson was in
Yep.
there too.
Yep.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a blast from the past.
But it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just want to take an hour and a half to watch something, people getting shot up, stabbed up, you know what I mean?
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Who doesn't? I don't know. Some people don't. Some people
You're speaking
don't.
to me.
Yeah. Some people don't. But I was like, yeah, I've seen this a couple times, but never watched it. It's called Faster, but it's a decent little watch. And then like my wife and I, catching up on stuff that we watch, right? Abbott Elementary, which is funny. Some of the stuff that comes up on there, I'm like, they're getting a little more bold on ABC with some of the stuff they say, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was like,
Can't get rid of me.
It's only a matter of time before you get canceled. I know, right? Like they're like, all right, we're entrenched now. We're like,
right. Can't get rid of me.
So
you know I am.
Yeah. But what's interesting about that is I watched Quinta Brunson, I think is her name, the one that created when she was on. She did the first season of what's it called, Black Lady Sketch Show. What's the one? It's got
I think it is called Black Lady Sketch Show. It's on HBO, right?
Yeah, she was in the first season, and then she wasn't there anymore, and I think it was because she started developing this show. But I remember her from that, and then see her on this as a creator.
A Black Lady Sketch Show, comedy, 4 seasons. I've watched the first 2 seasons. Pretty funny.
It's the first few seasons. The first 2 seasons are probably the best, and they reach a little bit after that.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it recently. I don't think I finished the 4th season. But yeah, Robin Thede is the one.
Yeah. It's like when she dresses like a dude, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. Just catching up on stuff that we usually watch. But children have spring break this week, so we're a week behind you.
Okay, got you.
So the children are.
It's a madhouse at the airport here in Tampa.
I can imagine. Crazy. I can imagine down there in Florida, it's getting crazy right now, man. Spring break weeks.
We have this sculpture, this flamingo sculpture. Have you seen it, Chris?
I have.
It weirds me out. It's ginormous flamingo.
Massive. Like I've seen footage of Miami. The Miami beach is just like overrun right now. It's unreal.
It's gonna be like Spain. You see this story where Spain is trying to get people to stop coming over to tour the tourists and whatnot.
Like you'll have Spain. Local Miami residents like yelling at people, "Get out of my city!"
Your entire industry is tourism.
Exactly.
I get people disrespecting your area. Like I'm real big on like when people, I haven't been to Hawaii yet, but I get their point, right? Like come here, enjoy the weather and the beaches, and get out of here. Like don't come here and start disrupting and being a nonsense.
With the whole Spain
thing.
They're
not trying to be disruptive though. The fact that they come so often is just making the price of living, the cost.
Yeah, so so they're like worried about investors, Airbnbs, like that's.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, gentrifying.
Works. Yeah, gotcha. It's just becoming too much for some of the Spanish residents in certain cities, right? So you've got literally people commuting from like, an hour away.
Why are they allowed to do that though? Like that I would think like none of my business, right? Like I don't know. From an American perspective, like if your industry is tourism, why would you let the tourists buy property? Because now they're taking away from your industry. Like now they're getting the money. Your tourists are making the money, right? As opposed to your locals. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
But the people that are making the money are the ones that are in power, right? It's rich and powerful that own these homes and stuff like that, right? As with anywhere, it's the same way things are in America, right?
Because let's say that's a boon for your local economy, right? Like all the shopkeepers and hotel purveyors, like they should own everything, and then the locals come in and feed the economy.
But the locals are getting priced out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They're charging more and more because people that are going on vacation. I know when I go on vacation, I plan to pay more for things than.
I'm balling out. Like I didn't come here to be impoverished. All right, I came here. I'm gonna feed this economy, and they're gonna feed me literally. I came here for the food. All right, but no, that's crazy. I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, they were out there with water pistols, like squirting people and protesting and whatnot. Right? It's crazy. But I get it. I understand it. I do. Right? Like you guys in Florida. Like I'm surprised you aren't more pissed off about it, right? Because
but I think it's also the culture, right? Most people who are here are not Floridian, like myself.
Yeah,
like we're all
exactly. I'm from Minnesota. Like nobody.
When I meet somebody who's actually from Florida, it always blows my mind. Where they be like, "Yeah, I'm from Tampa." I'm like, "Yeah, but where do you live in Tampa? Where you come from?" They're like, "No, I was born and raised in Tampa." I'm like, "Oh,
interesting."
Yeah.
It's usually like, oh, my dad retired from the Air Force here.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
yeah, or something like, oh yeah, we came down from New Jersey, New York, or whatever. That's the most common one for
Yeah.
us.
And I see a lot of Buffalo mafia signs. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
I see
yeah.
a lot of people who came from because snowbirds, right? People not only vacation here, but they also retire here. So we're
hmm
always in flux. So I guess it's the same thing, right? I bought a house.
I
I
always
might
think
open a
about
tiki
that.
bar.
I always think about that. Like, yeah, I know Florida is nice and sunny year round, but also I think the primary reason people come down here is for tax benefits, right? They don't want their retirement to be overly taxed. Like, why don't those states up north just stop taxing, retirees, or at least give them some tax benefits? So,
Right, to get them to come back up.
yeah, come back up and invest in the state
Well,
versus
it's,
having to
it's
come down
it's
here.
different things though, right? So like they don't have the appeal of having that warm weather,
True,
right?
that's true.
Like you start going farther north, you're going to get snow, right? It's not as appealing to people.
As your
That's true, but
population decreases, you usually raise your taxes to offset it.
yeah. But the thing is, it's like you want to give incentives for your residents to want to stay and retire in your state. Right? It just makes no sense,
Not
right?
New York. And listen, I was paying, and this is back when I was making McDonald's money. It was still hurting me. I was like, man, the taxes are ridiculous.
Yeah,
But you have more people to support too, right? Like, and here's the thing: we go through this whole thing with government waste and whatever, right? But like, yes, there is some waste when it comes to what these states are doing, but they usually have more people, right? Your Californias, your Illinois, your Floridas, your
right.
Texases, your New Yorks, they have more population there, so they have to do more to support more.
Right,
You know what I mean?
infrastructure and
Yeah.
healthcare and all the above. Education.
We'll see how long that's going to last.
Well, everything's going back to the states, so taxes have to go up. Because so here's my thing. Not to get too political. Right? So I live in Florida. I love the tax benefits that I get here. So I don't plan on leaving anytime soon or if ever. Um, but they're talking about getting rid of the property tax as well, which that'd be great for some people. But where are they getting money from in general? If we have, because we don't have tax. So
They're
if you
gonna
only
have
have
to,
sales
yeah.
tax, how are you going to fix roads and stuff like that? Like I'm not complaining, but I just don't know where the money's going to come from.
It's
Your
gonna
sales
have to
tax
come from W-2s or businesses, somebody else's. It's gonna have to come from somewhere, right? There's no way they can balance the budget. Or, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't. Hey, when I
Insurance
heard
costs
that,
are going up.
yeah, when I heard that, because I was like, the only thing that's funding our schools down here is property tax and the lotto. Like those are the two biggest things. That, to my knowledge, it could be something else, but to my knowledge, that's all we got. So they get rid of property tax, which we only pay like 1.0 something percent in my county. It's not expensive at all. Like houses are expensive
Well,
because
that's
everything's
that's
going
that's
up.
that's the thing. The value of your house is going to go up too, right? Like, and they're probably gonna start getting it from these insurance companies that are charging 3 and 4 times the national rate to be in Florida, right? You've had 3 years of hurricanes that have just ripped through that
Yeah.
state.
Devastating. Yeah.
I think, as good as it sounds from the political end, like, oh, and property tax, whatever, right? It's just another ploy, right, from whatever politician that's promising it. But every action has a reaction, right? So it's just something's got to give. If you're taking something away, you got to give something in return, right?
Right.
That's just the way it is.
Right. Because again, I'm not complaining. Like you want to get rid of it for other people, hey, get
Yeah.
rid of it. But then where does the money come from?
Yeah.
I just don't know where any of this money's coming from. I
Chris, go
digress.
ahead, man. You're weak, man. Look, we
Oh
we
man, it's
spent a
all
lot of
good.
time.
I
Yeah.
think you got us on some awesome sidebars here. Yeah, but for me, not too much on TV, but of course, Severance, right? Severance ended the last season.
I'm on
We
episode
started.
7. I tried catching up. I just
Oh
couldn't do it.
man,
I'm on 7 though. It's
it's
wrapping
good.
up.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's getting crazy, right? There's that episode that was outside, right? That was a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, you're. But that wrapped up. It was pretty thrilling. I'm not going to spoil anything, but go watch it. It's amazing. You'll, man, I can't say anything. It's just too good.
I'll
It's
catch
just
up this
really damn
weekend.
good.
So next week we can do a spoiler free talk about
Yeah.
it.
Or if we should do a full spoiler, just like, hey, what do you think is gonna happen?
The spoiler cast.
Yeah, spoiler cast. Anyway, that's really good. Last week I wasn't on the show, but that previous Friday I passed my SISM exam, so that was pretty
Congratulations.
awesome. I actually enjoyed this exam. It was look, I remember for CISP, right? That one I failed the first time. It was like my first like high level cert a while ago. But coming into this one, having the experience and knowing kind of what a difficult test is like, it was a lot more almost like relaxing. But again, going through those 150 questions in that whatever time frame, it's very taxing. It's like by the time you hit like 100, you're like, I still got
And it's
50 to go.
adaptive, right? So it starts getting aggressive. Is this one
No,
adaptive as well, or is this
it's
one?
not adaptive,
Okay.
right? You can actually go back, you can flag your questions, which is like, it's a good and a bad thing because for me, that means it's like, it gives you the opportunity to second guess yourself. So I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to go back. So I flagged, I think maybe like 30 or 40 questions. So I went back and did that. But, the thing with ISACO though is that they don't send you, they tell you passed on the screen. Like on the screen, like, congrats, you passed, right? But you don't get an email confirmation or anything until like for at least 10 days. So I haven't even
Okay.
gotten any confirmation thing yet.
So
So
just
hopefully I'll get it
auditing
tomorrow
you.
or something. So I'm like, wait, am I in some kind of limbo mode or whatever? Are they ever going to send this stuff to me? But like, yeah, I want to see how I did in certain sections, right?
Gotcha.
So that's really interesting. And then there's also March Madness is happening, right? I didn't make a bracket, right? Because like, honestly, I just don't know enough about these teams. I'll follow Big Ten. I know Michigan's doing well, right? UCLA, fake Big Ten, they're doing well, right? But I think UCLA just got eliminated based on the time of this recording. So I guess I don't know who I'm rooting for at this point. I guess Michigan. I don't know.
I haven't paid attention to college basketball at all this year. And like I've had people
Yeah,
come up to me like, "Hey, you doing a bracket?" I'm like, "Dude,
I
I
don't
have
know,
not paid
man.
attention." The only thing I know for a guarantee is Michigan State will make it to the 16. Like that's it. Like it happens every year, but I don't know.
Yeah, Michigan
So
State. I think Michigan. If Michigan and Michigan State make it, they should be. Yeah, they might make it. They'd be squaring off at the Final Four or Elite Eight, which is interesting. That should be fun. But Auburn is playing really well. Like SEC is freaking playing well, and that's just surprising to me. I don't know what if it's NIL money.
I
SEC's
thought
doing.
Auburn just got eliminated.
No, man, they're playing Michigan. They beat Creighton and Alabama State. So I mean, whatever. But they're
Are you
playing
looking at
Michigan.
are you looking at the women's bracket? You might be looking at the wrong bracket.
Oh, look at the women's bracket. Am I?
Oh no,
No way.
I usually rep Syracuse.
Am I looking at the official? No, March Madness Live.
I thought Arkansas just beat Auburn.
Oh, maybe I'm going. No, no. So March Madness Live, DIMBB. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the men's bracket, bro.
Okay, all right.
And then the women's bracket. Let me see.
Arkansas just beat St. John's. Disregard.
Yeah.
was
North
like,
Carolina and
Auburn.
Duke. Yeah, you got the usual suspects in the women's bracket, but the men's bracket, like it's got SEC written all over it, which is crazy to me, right? Like just from my understanding of, I've always been like it's ACC usually.
They didn't have a good college football year, so I don't know. They got to make up for it somewhere because their
That's
college
true.
football season was not
That's
great.
true. Yeah, but Florida, man, Florida's playing UConn, right? So that should be
I
interesting.
might actually watch that.
Yeah,
I might
that
actually
should
watch
be
that game.
interesting. So once it gets to like the Sweet 16, maybe I'll start
Right.
like really
tuning in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tennessee, of course, Tennessee. Yeah, it's like you got Florida, Tennessee, and Auburn. That's weird to me. Just like seeing all these successful SEC companies or SEC colleges.
You called the right thing. That's Freudian slip. Companies.
That's
what they are.
You know what? They might as well be. I think it's that NIL stuff. Like, I don't know how that system works for how they're paying these players or something, but I think that might have brought a little bit of parity to the college basketball. It's not just Duke, UNC, and whoever all the time, but they're still gonna Duke and UNC and NC State. They're always gonna be a powerhouse.
They're college blue bloods, man. When it comes to basketball, right?
Exactly. Like, they're Ivy League of basketball.
Kansas, another
Kansas,
one. Right?
Yeah. Kentucky, right? So they're playing against Illinois. Yeah, Illinois is in it too. Nice. But yeah, that's my week, man. Nothing crazy. How about you, Ryan?
So quick recap. So we had our spring break. We decided to do like a staycation this year. So I took the kids to Busch Gardens one day. Then we went and did a escape room the next day. And we're gonna go to breakfast today to end it, to wrap it all up. So just hanging out with the family, just having a good time, like just, because the kids are getting older. So having that time to bond with them and, we failed the escape room. It still was fun. Busch Gardens, we got, thank God we got express passes because it was shoulder to shoulder out there because of spring break, right? So we were able to ride everything. I think we did the whole park in like 4.5, 5 hours or something like that. We were able to ride every ride. So it was pretty cool. Except for there was a couple that were broken. And aside from that, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Shadows. Loving it. This game is like, I don't have the Assassin's Creed burnout like most people. Like I played the original trilogy. I played the one where it was in America. I can't remember. I think that was like 4 or something like that. I didn't beat it. And now I'm playing this one. I said if they ever rated to Japan, I would buy it. Sight unseen. And that's what I did. Plus there's a big controversy because Yasuke's in it. The black man who became a samurai, which is historical, but people has kind of felt some kind of way about it. It's too woke for them apparently. And then he plays a female shinobi. I'm still pretty early on. I'm only 5.5 hours in, so I'm still playing as Naoe, is the female shinobi. It's excellent, graphically, story wise. combat. Like I'm loving it. But again, I don't have the other 19 Assassin's Creeds. I'm being facetious, but there's a lot of them. I don't have that in between them, so I'm kind of like a brand new player. So I'm enjoying it. I think it's mechanically sound and pretty as all get out. I'm playing on the PC. It was either I was going to get it for the PS5 Pro or the PC. I decided to go PC this time, just because I don't have a lot of PC games, but loving it. That's pretty much it for me, though. Like getting over whatever the sinus stuff is. Like I've been sounding terrible all week, so hopefully that'll burn off by next week. But yeah, so definitely continue to tune in. Monday and Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. And Fridays, everything else just like this: movies, books, games, property, taxes, you name it. All right, we talk about all of it. And then hit us up by the website to go by our name, the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. Hit me up personally at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, is where I'm most active. And where can they find you, Chris?
You can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Chris Abacon, last name spelled A. Bacon.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.